Bright Facts presents 20 Things Confident People Don't Do. Genuine self-assurance can be quite easily distinguished from arrogant bluster. There are things that can be accomplished when people believe in themselves and their skills without resorting to arrogance. They just don't carry out the action. Don't get me wrong, gaining the ability to be self-assured is very vital, but there are specific habits that mark those who are highly confident apart from the rest of the population. In this video, we are going to focus on the fundamental practices that they all have in common, so that you, too, can include them in your repertoire of skills. For more videos like this, hit the subscribe button, and remember to click on the notification bell. Also, be sure to check out our other videos as well. First and foremost, they don't place an unhealthy emphasis on outward appearances. When a person is self-assured, they have a positive attitude toward their physical appearance and are able to accept themselves as they are. Because they are aware of how their bodies work, they make sure to exercise regularly, maintain a nice appearance, and consume nutritious foods, deserve to have good care provided for them. People who are confident work to improve the things they can, make every effort to present the best version of themselves, and then come to terms with who they are currently. They make no effort to alter their personality. Which brings us to point number 2. One's level of self-assurance is not contingent on whether they are an introvert or an extrovert. People who are self-assured are aware that the key to achieving and maintaining that state is to be happy with who they are, and what they are capable of accomplishing by being themselves in every way. They recognize the importance of self-acceptance and do not waste their time attempting to be someone they are not, is one of the most important components of self-confidence. Thirdly, they don't go out of their way to gain followers and likes on social media, sharing what's happening, rather than using social media as a place to hang out, is the focus of self-assured people. For the purpose of being revered, they do not experience any feelings of disappointment when whatever they upload receives only 2 thumbs up on it. It's possible that you'll find their profiles to be more intriguing and less focused on themselves than those of insecure people. They would rather share a photo of a tree or a beautiful quote with their followers than a picture of a flaming hot meal. Selfie? The 4th reason is that they don't disregard their own sense of right and wrong. People who are secure in themselves do not automatically think that others have all the answers or know best. They place a high importance on their own common sense and pay attention to their own intuitive promptings. They are aware of the fact that they have within them the capacity to discover the solutions on their own. For the majority of circumstances, they might look for advice and suggestions, but ultimately, they are confident in making the choice on their own. The time is now here. 5. They don't need to boost their own self-esteem by putting others down. People who are secure in themselves do not feel the need to criticize others or make derogatory remarks about them, their achievement, or fortune in order to construct themselves into stronger individuals. They really rejoice in the success of others, and they open themselves up to the possibility of being inspired by those successes, by those accomplishments. In addition, they do not believe that those who are successful have something unique that others don't have. They turn to other happy and successful individuals for inspiration and the drive to reach the same level of happiness and success for themselves, achievement and happiness in their life. The 6th point is that they do not control the conversation. A self-assured individual is aware that a discussion involves a back and forth of ideas, and not just one person's monologue. They make an effort to gain an understanding of the things that others are enthusiastic about, despite the fact that this is not one of their specific interests. Fascinated by the subject matter, they are aware that if they show that they are paying attention to others and actively listening to what they have to say, they will have a much greater chance to acquire knowledge and mature. They don't avoid conflict, which is point number 7. People who are confident understand that conflict is an inevitable aspect of life, and they do not view it as something to be avoided at all costs. They view it as something that should be effectively managed rather than something to be completely avoided. They do not go along to get along, even when it means having talks that are awkward for both parties, or being forced to make unpopular choices. The 8th reason is that they don't cling to other people. People who are self-assured are capable of standing on their own 2 feet. It's not that they don't enjoy the company of others, but they are essential to the operation of the system, sufficient to be able to take pleasure in their own company, and to feel confident even when they are by themselves, or in a different social environment. The 9th reason is that they do not wait to act until they are given permission. People who are secure in themselves do not require the guidance of others to tell them what to do or at what time to do it. They do not squander their time by asking inquiries such as "Can I?" or "Ought I?" If there is one question that they pose to themselves, it is, why wouldn't I? Whether it be leading a meeting in the absence of the chairperson or going the extra mile for a client. Extra mile to find a solution to a problem that a customer is having. It doesn't even cross their minds to wait for someone else to be responsible for taking care of it. They are aware of what should be done, and they carry it out. The 10th reason is that they don't look for happiness in other places. Confidence is built on a foundation of happiness because, in order to be confident in what you do, you need to be happy. To do so, you need to be content with who you already are. People who are filled to the brim with confidence get their enjoyment and sense of fulfillment from their own level of own achievements as opposed to what the opinions of other people might be. They are aware that regardless of what others think of them, they will never be as good or horrible as other people claim they are. Say you are. They don't concentrate on their weaknesses, which is point number 11. The majority of people believe that it is worthwhile to spend more time working on improving their weaker areas. Those who are self-assured, on the other hand, are aware that the key to continued achievement is personal growth. On the basis of your strong points, they are able to accept their own shortcomings with grace and spend more time and effort into overcoming those inadequacies. Activities in which they are confident they will have a greater chance of succeeding. This allows them to get the most out of their time and efforts. They don't settle for mediocre work. The 12th reason. People who are self-assured have a clear idea of what they want out of life, and they work toward achieving that goal. They don't play it safe and don't let their anxieties prevent them from attempting new things. They challenge themselves to excel in every possible way. They have extremely high standards for themselves and expect nothing less than the best. They are aware that, in both their professional and personal lives, they are just as deserving of success as anyone else. They don't ignore their skills as the 13th point. A significant portion of an individual's lack of self-confidence can be attributed to their lack of experience, education, or both. Excellent results. Those who are self-assured have a crystal clear vision of the steps they need to take to increase their chances of success. They are willing to devote the necessary amount of time and effort to enhancing their abilities and boosting their careers, training or obtaining a higher level of education so that they can have more faith in their own capabilities. The 14th reason is that they do not require continuous praise. Have you ever spent time with someone who can never get enough compliments about how wonderful they are? People who are secure in themselves are not like this at all. They don't require frequent praise. They are aware that the acceptance of other people is not necessary for them to be successful, and they comprehend this fact, that regardless of how well they perform, there will always be someone else available offering a competing product or service. Only constructive criticism is offered. People who are confident are also aware that the kind of assurance that is reliant on praise from others is not the other people, is not truly confidence at all. Rather, it is narcissism. Other people is narcissism. They are not resistant to acquiring new skills. Which brings us to point number 15. People who are secure in themselves are also lifelong students. They are always willing to learn new things, even when they have a lot of experience in their area. They are well aware that there is much more to do in life and a great deal of room for development. They do not cling to outdated practices or preconceived notions of what constitutes morality in their decision-making, or finest. They look for methods to challenge themselves, such as through engaging in new activities. They don't get too comfortable is the 16th rule. People who are self-assured are aware that the greatest obstacle to success is allowing oneself to become overly comfortable. Goals. This is due to the fact that they are aware that ease of living brings about contentment, and that contentment brings about complacency. When they begin to feel at ease, they recognize this as a warning sign and ramp up their efforts to achieve their goals. Limits, so that they can continue to expand beyond those limits. They are aware that experiencing some level of discomfort might be beneficial. They don't tell themselves stories. Which brings us to point number 17. People who are secure in themselves do not tell themselves lies. They don't have negative self-talk such as I'm too old or I'm not smart enough. And they don't put themselves down. Alternatively, I'm not as attractive as other people. They don't hide behind excuses like denial or limiting ideas that are just an excuse to stay stuck where they are, staying at the same place as before. They are honest with themselves, despite the fact that the truth may be intimidating. They don't procrastinate, which is the 18th trait. Why do people put things off till later? There are situations when it's due to the person's lack of effort. The majority of the time, though, it's because they're terrified, afraid of failing, afraid of change, or maybe afraid of both. Even accomplishments. People that are secure in themselves don't procrastinate. Because of this, They do not waste time idly waiting for the appropriate moment or the ideal set of circumstances. Individuals have faith in themselves and confidence that the decisions they make will bring them closer to their goals. They are aware that the only day that counts is the current one. They will make it the appropriate moment even if they do not believe it is the appropriate time. They don't try to impose their worldview on other people. Number 19. Confident people don't try to impose their opinions on others, regardless of how valid they believe their beliefs to be. Whether it be religious or political, they have a profound comprehension of the fact that one's convictions and life decisions are uniquely particular to them. They might defend themselves when others disagree with them, but they will never question what other people say. People think, and you don't feel the need to inform them that what they are thinking is incorrect. 20. They do not sacrifice their core values in any way. Any endeavor one undertakes in life can benefit from having clear core values as their guiding principles. People who are secure in themselves lead lives that are congruent with their beliefs and will never intentionally undermine their integrity, or what is most important to them. They base their choices in life and in their careers on these principles, even if it requires a sacrifice of some kind. Something desirable in the short term that you could have had. When it comes to self-assurance, there is one thing that can never be questioned. People who are truly self-assured will always come out on top when compared to others who are uncertain or timid because of the following reason. They have the ability to motivate others and to make things happen. Adopting the traits that are characteristic of self-assured individuals is a fantastic strategy to boost your chances of achieving your goals, which will ultimately result in increased self-assurance. Keep in mind that developing your self-assurance is a process, not an end goal. We are interested in hearing your opinions. Are there any of these behaviors that you recognize in yourself? Have we forgotten anything important? Leave your views and observations in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends so we can keep making them. Thanks for watching.